Yeah, I'm actually kind of pissed. I didn't realize that there was a post credit.
I
Um,
oh, dude, I just found out about the post credit today too.
yeah, like
It was John.
I stayed a decent amount of time just in case, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks like there's nothing because we've all been marvelized to the point where like, okay, maybe there's something post credit, and I stayed and like the most obvious point where there would have been a post credit, there wasn't one, so I left, and then like someone else was like ran back into the theater, and I'm like, shit, was there a post credit? So I'm like reading on what it was, and I'm like, oh, okay, that probably would have been cool.
Yeah, I was told today what it was. Apparently, it's something with the chick popping out on Donnie Yen
Yeah, the daughter
and John.
of the yeah.
The kid who was telling me about it is like, oh yeah, so he's dead. I'm like, I just don't feel like they'd kill off a Donnie Yen character off screen like that. They are leaving that open. I don't know. I
Well, especially because they definitely are now they're talking about doing spin-offs because it looks like they're not making any more actual John Wicks. So they've been talking
Yes.
like doing spin-offs about the world. So yeah, you definitely want to leave Donnie Yen alive if you're going to do that.
Well, that's uh, I was gonna say that later on in the show. This is a great way to start the show. Just complete random babbling about John Wick. Obviously, we're reviewing John Wick today. um, but yeah, the spin-offs that they're pitching, like they're gonna do this Anna de Armas, the ballerina one of like where John Wick started, where apparently he's gonna cameo. Um, it, they're definitely gonna try to think of something for Donnie Yen. That you have Donnie Yen as a badass blind dude with a sword. You're gonna try to make more movies with that.
Of course, it was
Like,
like you saw Donnie Yen in Rogue One, and how much of a badass he was there, and then they're like, how can we take what Donnie Yen did in Rogue One and just make it like even better? And then it's like, yeah, have him with a cane that's actually a sword, and
yeah.
yeah, I was. Anytime you cast Donnie Yen in your movie, like he's gonna steal the show.
Oh yeah. As soon as I remember when the trailers first came out for John Wick 4, and I'm like, Donnie Yen is in this fucking thing. I just fucking Donnie Yen's the man. I love Donnie Yen.
He is.
So first of all, to really start the review, I love the movie. The I've seen a few complaints that there wasn't much of a story, which is I are we forgetting what movie series we're watching? Um, the story. I mean, well, yeah, we know what the story is. Which I actually thought they did a good job of capping the entire running story off. Like, you know, fortunately, that was how it had to end.
Yeah, and
Uh,
listen, you're not going into John Wick Chapter 4. I mean, if you're complaining about the lack of storyline in John Wick Chapter 4, did you watch chapters 1 through 3? Like you you're here to see Keanu Reeves kill people, all right? Like you're and you want to see exactly how he does it, and if anything, they made it more interesting because there are more talented hitmen than in previous films. Like you
yeah,
have Donnie Yen, you have one of my favorite characters is the hitman with the trained dog. Like that guy was
yeah,
a badass too. Like so, yeah, you're not going in this for dialogue. The half of Keanu Reeves' lines are yeah.
yeah. I'm thinking I'm pissed off. Like it's not. You're not going there for, like you said. You're not going there for a story. You're not going there for a groundbreaking plot. You're not going. Personally, I thought they did a very good job humanizing some of these characters. Like Donnie Yen's character had like a legitimate like human reason that he was being his badass blind assassin self.
Oh, exactly.
Um, But like you said, I mean, the action scenes in this fucking top notch. You brought you. We're talking about Donnie Yen. I'm gonna keep talking about Donnie Yen because he's fucking awesome in this movie. Mr. Nobody was an awesome character. That was it. That dude. Every time that dude popped up, I was like, "Oh shit, this guy's good." Scott Adkins as the fucking German club owner,
Yeah.
just like all beefed up. That was up, and that scene was crazy. The fight scenes are beautifully choreographed. They continue to do a fantastic job choreographing fights in the series.
I wanted to know if, and I don't know if we'll ever get the answer to this, but I wanted to know if Scott Adkins' character, if they got any sort of inspiration from the Colin Farrell depiction of Penguin from the Batman, because I'm like, there's a little bit of a similarity in just how gross these two guys are.
Yeah, and I feel like that the whole movie was drawing a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things you could see. Like, that was going to be another one of my points. So I wouldn't be surprised at all, because they drew inspiration from, I mean, you can see clear inspiration from dozens of different action movies if you really look for it, I feel like, in this movie, probably. I mean,
For sure.
Kurosawa and Sergio Leone are all over this stuff.
You know what kind of stuck out to me too is it was a very weird feeling when Lance Reddick gets shot and killed. Spoiler alert, I guess, to anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, but I feel like I was one of the last people to see it, so I don't think there's any more spoilers.
I waited over a week. We're good on spoilers here. That's why I waited a
week. Yeah, so I'm watching that and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, he's gone, and then now he's obviously
Lance Reddick killed on screen. Obviously, rest in peace. Lance Reddick was awesome. I saw a story that Keanu Reeves Keanu Reeves is the man. Went and thanked him on set one night for how much he brought to his character. And I was thinking about actually watching the movie. He really did bring that character into a lot more than what it should have been. That really could have easily just been a simple hotel doorman.
Oh yeah.
But he was so awesome in the role the first time around that they were like, okay, well, we'll keep exploring how cool this hotel doorman is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Continental and the whole notion of these, hotels for hitmen that have this established set of rules, and he was the embodiment of that. It's such an interesting part of that world. It's so bizarre, and Lance Reddick does such a great job, along with Ian McShane character, obviously Winston, of bringing us into that world. So yeah, Lance Reddick, he's not just a side character. He brings a ton to that role.
Yeah, absolutely. Lance Reddick is, like I said, Ian McShane too. Ian McShane's been awesome throughout all these movies. Lawrence Fishburne completely just dives into his, yeah, sure, I'm king of the homeless people. The homeless assassins.
You are now in the presence of the motherfucking king.
Yeah. You're right. It is such a bizarre movie series, but it's so fucking awesome. I mean, there's not much to talk about for a plot. They're trying to kill John Wick again. He's still trying to kill them. So yeah, really we lead to this. The last half hour of this movie, 45 minutes or so, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
One of the main things that struck me, I was actually thinking this in the theater watching this, was I was thinking in my head, I am 2.5 hours into the fourth movie in this series. That this series is built off these long-winded, kinetic, insane fight scenes. and shootouts. At some point, when you're on the fourth movie, you feel like those would get redundant at some point. Like, it would almost be expected that they would. Like, at some point, you'd be like, oh, all right, he's done this before.
You would think.
Yeah, they were still finding ways to make it inventive on how John Wick shot this person. Like, with 2.5 hours in the fourth movie, he's gone like his 400th fucking kill. And they're still making it inventive. And I I find that really impressive by, I mean, obviously the choreographers, but the director, Chad Stahelski, has done an awesome job with these movies. I don't know if he's done anything else really other than the John Wick movies. I'm sure most of his attention has been on that the past few years, but any action movie this dude makes after John Wick, I'm all over it.
Absolutely. And can I just say, so leading to, of course, this that whole final act, I absolutely adore the callback to like the first act of this entire franchise, which is, of course, John Wick's dog being shot and killed. There's the showdown where the table, or they're trying to to obviously take care of John Wick before the challenge can actually happen. And Mr. Nobody's there also trying to kill John Wick to collect his bounty. And John Wick sees that Mr. Nobody's dog is about to be shot by the table's bodyguard there, and he takes the guy out, obviously not for good. We end up seeing him later, but I'm like, I love that callback. He's like, I don't care that this guy is also trying to kill me. Someone's trying to kill his dog. I'm going to take this guy out.
Yep, no one's hurting a dog on John Wick's watch. I like that. That's a good point. I like that. That's still a thing for John Wick. He's like, no, man, I don't care. I'm still. In the final act, this is one of my favorite parts of this movie. My favorite part of any movie I've seen so far this year. We haven't talked about this before. I'm assuming you've seen The Warriors.
Yes.
So you caught that awesome reference to The Warriors at the end with the radio. It's the radio channel. Okay, boppers. Yeah, that was awesome. That was so. I was losing my mind in the theater, honestly, because I mean, right away I could see what that is. That's another one of the things, right? So you can see inspiration to from so many different movies all over this place. But that was awesome to me. That the radio channel fucking calling out to the assassins again. What bizarre fucking world the John Wick universe is.
Exactly. Like these thinly coded messages that are like being sent out on just regular radio waves, basically just saying like, hey, this wicked man has a bounty on him, and looks like he's gotten away. The bounty's increased. Like imagine if that goes out on like WEEI.
Fucking the Felger and Maz fans fucking listening to that fucking, they wouldn't be able to piece it together. That's
Yeah, you're giving their listeners too much credit.
Yeah, that's true. But that, I mean, that whole chase scene, that was awesome. Fuck, through the streets and everything.
Absolutely.
This whole last act going up the set of fucking stairs. Whoa, what a scene. That I can't imagine how many takes that must have taken them.
Oh yeah,
to get that right. I mean, that scene. That, what do they say? It's 222 steps or something. Which, like, I'm just like gonna go off on a limb and say that they actually counted how many steps that fucking thing was.
Like, I'm sure they did.
That was around 200 fucking steps from my eyes.
The best part about that too is the steps thing in the grand scheme of things is totally unnecessary to the plot, but it just was so cool. It was so cool, especially to see him tumble down these sets of stairs, get all the way back up there, and oh, by the way, you're gonna get knocked down the entire thing of stairs again.
Yeah, when he got knocked back down and again, I'm like, oh man, because I'm feeling it with him. I'm like, God damn, gotta do that again, huh?
Yeah,
gotta go back up these 200 steps and kill another 30 people to get up there.
And just when you think like, okay, oh, he's definitely not getting back up the stairs, Donnie Yen just kind of walks over and he's like, hey, I know we have to go to do this like deadly duel in a few minutes, but like,
yeah. By the way, we're dueling to the death, but I'm gonna help you get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you with my cane sword to get up these stairs. Fantastic.
Yeah, just fucking absolutely awesome. Now Donnie Yen's character again. Now that you brought him back up, I feel like his character feels like a reference, a little bit of inspiration to the old Chow Yun Fat characters from the John Woo days back in Hong Kong. He felt like one of those old Chow Yun Fat characters to me. Of course, the stairway scene, fucking amazing. I have to bring up that we've all seen this video now of Keanu helping the stage crew bring the equipment up, right?
Yep.
Now we know what fucking scene that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we don't know how hard he must have worked, but we can assume that Keanu went through it that night, filming that scene. He did not have an easy night.
That's a great point, too, that you bring that up, because I think people forget how long ago John Wick Chapter 4 was filmed. Because when you first brought that up, I'm like, no, I remember that video was from a while ago. That was probably for John Wick Chapter 3. No, that was for this movie. That's just, it's been so long since it was filmed that it was delayed. Yeah. So like, that's what it was for.
And that could not have been an easy night for him from that fucking scene. There's no way that was easy. And then carrying all that equipment up the steps, which we're going to, it looks like it was kind of late at night. It was always pretty dark out in that scene. Dude, that must have sucked.
Oh, yeah, it had to.
I'm a union guy, and I've even seen the people in the comments there about, oh, the unions would freak out about this. No, even as a union guy, like, that would be a moment where I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, you can help me get this done fast. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, the guy's just trying to do a nice thing. That's the type of guy Keanu Reeves is.
Yeah, Keanu, he's fucking. Every story I see about Keanu Reeves, I'm like, how fucking cool can you be, dude?
Yeah, someone who's been through some shit in his life, and he still loves to give back.
Yeah, it's just. So I saw something now. He bought Rolexes for the fucking everyone on the stunt crew for John Wick 4.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course. That doesn't surprise me at all.
You could tell me just an obscure story, and I'm sure it's true.
Yeah, it's just an obscure story about Keanu Reeves doing nice things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do this whole little duel thing, which was awesome. Even though it's just, again, this is another great point of how awesomely bizarre this John Wick universe and this set of rules that these assassins have is that all of this could be just like wiped out by challenging a guy to a duel the entire time.
Yeah.
Could have stopped all of this a couple movies ago if Winston had just told him to challenge one specific person to a duel.
Yeah, how convenient that Winston didn't remember that until he lost his hotel.
Yeah, Winston doesn't remember that until fucking John Wick's killed like 500 fucking people.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my hotel. I have nothing now. Oh, here's a a way that I can get revenge on this guy. Like, and he does admit as such. He's like, hey, I have revenge. This is what I'm getting out of it. So, but yeah, interesting that he doesn't remember that rule until now.
And it's well, I do love that the character of Winston is so great at fucking like he's John Wick's friend, kinda, but like he is just so great at winding people up to get what he needs and like fit his motives. Like it's Ian McShane's fucking brilliant in that role. The duel, yeah. So of course John Wick does die, but not until after he does actually kill the fucking Marquis, because the guy hasn't realized that he hasn't fired. Now here we have another callback to an old movie, Hunt for the Red October. Winston calls him, "You arrogant bastard." But I mean, yeah, that's it. So John Wick died, and I actually like that he died. I hate that he died. Like, yeah, kind of part of me wishes that like John Wick could have gone on from this to live a normal life, but like, no.
Yeah, what normal life was there really for him to live at that point?
It's all they kept making the point throughout the movie too. That was his life.
Yeah.
If he lived, there would have been someone else that would have tried to kill him.
Exactly. You know, that line of work there. There's no shortage of that. But I also just the last like 40 something minutes of the movie, when after John Wick had said to Winston, "I want my headstone to read loving husband." At that point, I'm like, okay, he's dying. Yeah, I'm not gonna claim to have read the tea leaves there. It was pretty obvious. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're laying it on thick. He's gonna die in this movie.
Yeah, they were like building it up like for us to accept it. Like, by the way, guys.
Yeah, don't complain about this at the end. Like we're making it pretty obvious here. He's gonna be the big one.
You guys got to be pretty dense not to pick up on this.
But can I also say, because we really have only mentioned him just a minute or so ago, but Bill Skarsgård's character, the Marquis,
yes,
the whole time I kept wondering, like, okay, are they just making him kind of look like a pansy, a fake tough guy, or are we going to find out that this guy actually has some skills, and this guy's not a nepo baby? And then I'm like,
definitely a nepo baby.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, this guy's a pussy. This guy has no ability to actually, shoot someone, fight someone on his own. That's why he's using, Kane, Donnie Yen's character, and then he only decides to step in when it's like, okay, wow, all right, John Wick doesn't have any bullets left, and I am now 5 feet away from him. Like, I can do this, and then that's when Winston goes, you arrogant bastard! Like, you didn't even realize he never even fired his last shot.
Yeah, and I will say that's one complaint actually that I can kind of understand from people, is that they would have liked to have seen more and learned more about the Marquis. I can kind of understand that complaint, but like at the same time, like you said, we can figure out pretty much everything you need to know about him from this one. He was just born into this life, and like apparently this dude's dad must have been like awesome in this assassin fucking world that they live in.
Well, yeah, they kind of mention it too. Like, hey, the table, it's like the heads of a Hydra serpent. Like, you cut off one, two more take its place. Like he definitely just kind of got into that position because of where he was born into. And I actually like that they didn't make him actually like this mysteriously good, hitman fighter. Like, no, it's actually good because oftentimes the people who are in those positions have no discernible skills. They are just are given a title that they didn't earn. And yeah, the Marquis is one of those people. Like, and yeah, you see how easily he's actually disposed of when he has to roll his sleeves up.
Yeah, that's. I mean, all he has is that he has the access to all the money to keep hiring absurd amounts of hitmen.
Yeah.
I cannot get over how many assassins there are living among us at all times.
Yeah, no,
The John Wick movies.
The population of New York,
movies. They make me scared to be in a big city.
Yeah, why live in New York if you're to believe John Wick? At least 50% of the population are contract killers.
Yeah, at least half the population of New York is a contract killer. How many of them are in Boston? Jesus.
Yeah, we should have seen John Wick Boston and seen like Hitman with the accent and see what he does. I just love the every time.
Continental.
Yeah, I love every time they would announce like the bounty went up, and it's like, yeah, I'm this random hitman. Yeah, I'm gonna be the one, even though like thousands of people have failed. I'm gonna be the one to bring down John Wick.
I've been thinking that for a while throughout these movies. I think the last time I did like a rewatch of like the trilogy at first before this came out, like halfway through part 2, it's like, how are these, like, the morale's got to be at an all-time low right now, right? How are these guys not just like, you know what? Nah, I don't think I'm going to go after him.
It's like the PGA Tour back in like the early 2000s when Tiger Woods was healthy. It's like, why am I here? Like, I'm not going to...
Yeah, so there's no way I can beat this guy.
Yeah.
That's why they called 200 of us.
Yeah, you ever wonder why the bounty's so high? Because no one can kill this fucking guy.
That's why it's like $26 million for his fucking head. You can't kill him.
Yeah, have another beer, stay at home, and keep your life. That's what I would have done if I were a hitman in the John Wick universe.
Yeah, I'd just wait for the next call. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to take it. You don't need to take every contract. That's my advice to the contract killers out there in this world. But I think this. I thought this was a great movie, a great action movie. This is not, like I said, this is not a great plot. There's not great acting in this. It's not a great script. It's a fucking awesome action movie, which is the only thing I went to the movies for.
Yeah, I'm not going to see John Wick Chapter 4 for crisp dialogue and like this big back and forth. Like, I am going to see John Wick kill a bunch of people, and in this case, also get to see Donnie Yen kill a bunch of people. And Mr. Nobody. I feel like they're definitely setting up a Mr. Nobody spinoff, which I'd love to see.
Yeah. That's what I saw someone. The guy I was talking to really complained to me that you didn't learn more about Mr. Nobody. I'm like, for the last movie, when they already know they're doing spinoffs, they built up a lot with that guy that I feel like they're going to explore. Because I mean, this was another one of the things I was going to talk about with you at Yinless. They did set up a lot of spinoffs, I feel like, with Mr. Nobody, and Donnie Yen has to get a spinoff.
Yeah, and the daughter also probably she's going to get a spinoff, probably, possibly.
I mean, you already know they're doing that Anna de Armas one, so I'm pretty excited to see where the spinoffs go. I hope they still obviously feel like a John Wick movie, but not exactly the same. Like, I hope that there's a change to the style and everything with it. Like, a Mr. Nobody movie shouldn't feel exactly like a John Wick movie.
Exactly, and you can tell stories about that world, that universe. It's obviously not going to be the same without the reason why people went to go see John Wick in the first place, and that is for Keanu. Like, people love. I don't think there's anyone who hates Keanu Reeves. If there is, you have to have your head examined.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard people say that, like, he's not one of their favorite actors, but then those same people are like, oh yeah, Speed's an awesome movie. Oh yeah, Point Break's awesome. Yeah. It's like, okay, so you like Keanu Reeves. is basically the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because everybody likes at least one Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah. I mean, tell me that you don't love Hardball, and I'm just going to call you a liar.
Tell me you don't like Hardball. Tell me you don't like The Matrix. Tell me you don't like Point Break again. Tell me you don't like Bill and Ted. I'm going to call you a fucking weirdo. But, and again, Keanu, dude, I got to, again, tip my hat to him. Dude's 58. Still doing his stunts like that. Still choreographing his fights. He could probably kick the shit out of me, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
He can fight anything like he does in these movies. He can beat the fucking shit out of me.
I mean, you got real movie stars like Keanu and Tom Cruise still doing their own stunts at their age. Like it's inspiring. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And then at the same time, it's kind of like depressing because I'm like, damn, man, I couldn't do that at this age. But one of the last things I did want to say here that I loved is I thought back to the first movie, and very rarely does a movie franchise actually do this nowadays, where the first movie told one specific story and could have ended it there.
Yep.
And we would have been happy. We would have had the closure. But what they did in the first movie was introduce us to this world of the Continental, and half the population is apparently a contract killer. And like we talked about Lance Reddick really, he got into his role of a hotel doorman, and Ian McShane got into the role of hotel manager. They really bought into it. But they were able to tell one specific story without, making it like obvious that they were making a sequel, but introduce this whole world that like we were more than happy to dive into for more movies. And I feel like movie series need to like take a lesson from that. Just worry about making your one good movie that can stand on its own before you worry about, 2, 3, and 4, which they obviously, once they made part 2, they knew where they were going.
Of course.
You could see they had this all mapped out after part 2, but part 1 really, it stood on its own. And I wish more movie series would take that cue. And
there's a risk to that too, because again, like not the way that they made the first one, but there's a risk to then coming back with a sequel because so many sequels are so underwhelming. And they made an excellent sequel. And again, the story could have ended there. Like they obviously knew that they had
part 2 again.
Yeah. So again, like they just focus on just making another great movie. And we're in this world now cinematically where, there's all these interconnected storylines, and don't get me wrong, I'm as big of a Marvel shill as you'll ever find. But sometimes it is nice to have just a self-contained story that you don't have to worry about. Is this going to weave into the existing plot line of 35 other movies?
Yes.
And it's nice to see, and you can still build a franchise by doing that. They prove that.
Yeah, and I like you. I like the Marvel movies. I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies, but I get a little annoyed sometimes when I'm watching a Marvel movie, and I'm like, can we worry about the one thing that's going on here and like enough references that you're throwing in here? Because I know you're trying to set up a movie that you already announced, and now you're teasing. Like, they lay it on a little thick sometimes. They do.
Yeah. Sometimes you might as well, the end of Endgame when you give the shield to Sam Wilson, it might as well just been like a promotion. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, only on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just the commercial. Like,
yeah.
But like you said, now these spinoffs, they can do this, and I'd love to see a movie about Mr. Nobody on a contract.
Yeah.
Give Mr. Nobody a badass contract that he has to take on. Like,
And more of the dog, of course.
well, he's got to have the dog. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to see a movie about that character.
Yeah, I want to see some like a montage flashback of how he trained the dog to go for everyone's nuts.
Yes, that's and again, this is such a bizarre world that they would do that.
Yeah.
They might give us that montage. So what would be your star rating out of 10 to wrap this up?
I would give, judging this by what it is, which is just a badass action movie, I give John Wick Chapter 4 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. I was leaning more towards the 8.5 range, but like I said, they literally make like a 20-minute scene just based off like a key part of the Warriors movie from the 1970s, and the fact that a movie did that fucking 2023, it's making callbacks to a fucking 1976 street fight gangster movie. Yeah, that's awesome. So 9 out of 10 for me.
Plus a stair scene that reminded me of a cutaway from Family Guy.
Fuck, it's oh god. I could go back to the theater and watch this movie again just for this fucking stair scene.
Yeah, I'll just cue up the stair scene. Let me watch that again, then I'll go.
Fucking goddamn. One last thing before I end this. I keep seeing Amazon Prime right now Prime Video is offering a bundle to buy fucking John Wick 1 through 3. Fuck you! I'm gonna buy the bundle when you have the 4 of them.
Yeah, they're just trying to spend some extra cash now.
Yeah, I've been seeing that since before the movie was in theaters. Like, I ain't buying this now. I'm going to buy all 4 of them. But yes, anyway, this has been another episode of Blue Collar Cantina. Just our second movie review episode. Yes, folks, we are no longer just doing Star Wars shit here. Mark Pirelli, my friend from Entitled Weekend, and he's been on Sundays with the General a few times. I'm sure you guys know him. Mark, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Absolutely.
So I will be back next week with Mark, the other Mark, and Luke to talk more Mandalorian. And we'll see about after that. Thanks for tuning in.